Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Morning. So, hang on a second. This morning, we're going to read from John. It's John 13, 31 through 34. When he was gone, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself, and will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and just as I told the Jews, so I will tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Morning. This is a pretty interesting view from up there, up high where you could see everything. I think it's kind of cool just to be able to get out and see different sights, different places. I mean, cool trees and stuff. There's moss up here in the trees and that kind of thing. And just be able to enjoy the day. Just kind of be able to just be. So I think life always gets us to a spot where we feel like it's almost sometimes like life puts things in our way that makes us feel like there's things of importance for us to do that are in front of us always. And it's important to kind of reset yourself every now and then and take some time to say, wait a minute, what if it's not important? What if, what if something else is actually going on, and these things that hit me every day are really a distraction. I think it's good just to sometimes be able to get away and remove yourself from all those urgent things that are always hitting us. And in this passage, Jesus is talking about some very important things that are going on. But to a lot of the people around him at that time, they don't quite understand, and they don't quite see the magnitude of things that are going on. Because in that passage, that is right before the passage starts. This is where Judas actually leaves the group when they're sitting at the, when they were sitting together, eating and being together, at the Lord's table as the Last Supper. Judas leaves to go out to betray Jesus. So, and this is what he's talking about, is it just as soon as he walks out the door, it's a very interesting and kind of a cool thing that happens is he says, the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. Now, he has not been taken to trial by Pilate. He has not been, crucified on the cross. He hasn't been resurrected or anything. But at that time, as soon as Judas leaves the room, he says, the Son of Man has been glorified. So, from Jesus's perspective, everything has taken place. Everything that is supposed to be set in motion to come to the end of where his journey's going is done. So the only thing left after that is just for everything else to take place. And that's such a cool thing to me, that Jesus settles in and acknowledges that everything has been glorified, and glorified for God and in God and through God, also through him at the same time. And God is glorified through him, and he is glorified in God, all at this one time, before any of the actual acts take effect or actually take place. And I think that's so insightful, because we, I think, a lot of times get caught up in the acts that are taking place, that we have to see these acts through, like, everything has to be done or finished or whatever before we actually, enjoy it or call it complete, right? Jesus actually called this complete, says everything was glorified before everything was finished, because he knew what was happening. Now, if we put let's say you got a project and we put all this stuff in place that was supposed to happen, and all the final touches were done and all this stuff, but and so let's say it involved more than one person, right, to get a big project done, and we did that, and then actually sit back and let everything take place, and we could sit back and watch it happen. Wouldn't that be cool? To actually just sit back and watch the things take place that has actually been put into motion ahead of time, and watch it all take place in front of us and be able to actually enjoy it. I think one of the things that life tries to do to us is tries to make us think that it's so urgent and important to always be involved and in the middle, and you miss the enjoyment of just actually seeing life happen in front of us and be an actual participant instead of trying to make it happen. It still is going to happen, but we tend to not be able to enjoy the thing. And Jesus, not only did he see that and give us some glimpses of possibly how to a different perspective to look at life, but he did something that was like, as he thought was the most important thing, because he knew what was getting ready to happen. He knew Judas was going out to tell everybody where he was. They were going to come arrest him, and everything else was going to take place. He knew that. He said, Son of Man has been glorified. God is glorified in him, and I in the Father. Everything's taken place. But then in this ultimate finale that was going to happen, he gave everybody a new commandment. So think about this. In the ultimate of things, where he said, I'm going to be leaving you and you can't come. So he knew what was going to happen, that he was going to be, things were going to change. And in that ultimate sacrifice that he was making, he gave a commandment, a new commandment. And it was simply love each other. So through the biggest thing that he could do, he said you need to love each other. And love each other like I have loved you. So you got to kind of take some time a little bit to go back in Scripture. Maybe you look around in Scripture and see, how is it that Jesus loved people? And take some time for you to do that. I'm not going to try to spell anything out. I want you to take some time to look back in Scripture. Pick a book. John is where we read this. Go back through John and see how Jesus loved people. Go, just find your spot You don't have to read the whole book. Just go flip some pages open. See some of the things that Jesus did. But in this ultimate thing that was happening, where he was sitting back and letting it take place, he took time and said, I'm giving you a new commandment. Something to do. Love each other. And, you know, the world, right, that we're in tries its best to take our focus off of that. There's so much noise that goes on, not only in the world, but in the church, right? In different denominations and all this stuff. Because the church is made up of people, you know. And sometimes in all those distractions, we're so distracted with the stuff that we forget the command. Love each other. And through that simple command, everything in Scripture is summed up. Everything about God is summed up. Jesus even said it. By you loving each other, I'll know that you are my disciples. Why? Because it's what he did. Why did he do it? Because that's how the Father works. That's why he always said, I am in the Father and the Father is in me. I am glorified and the Son of Man is glorified and God is glorified through him. And since God is glorified through him, I am glorified through God. And he just simply said, just love each other. And gave us a great, not only a model, but a glimpse of actually how to treat life, where we can actually sit back and enjoy this thing that we got and not let life treat us in a way that where we think everything has got to be so urgent or all the time that we get distracted from the simpleness of just enjoying the day. Because ultimately that's what he wants. He wants us to be able to enjoy the life we have, not have it as a burden or have it as some drudgery thing that we got to do to reach another goal or another step. Enjoy the life that we got. So in that all-important thing that Jesus was coming up to, where he's been glorified, hold on to how he perceived it, where he could actually sit back and be in the moment of the event and go through life that way, but also thought it was so important to leave us that command that ultimately it's about loving each other the way that he loved us. And that is how he will know we're his disciples. It's a very simple but very profound thing all at one time. So, go practice it. And go practice living life and enjoying the day that you've been given. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Let's pray. Thank you, dear Lord, for loving us. Thank you for letting us love you, and thank you for giving us the way to love each other. Thank you so much for everything that you did for us, and thank you for letting us enjoy our life and giving us ways to show that love and show that enjoyment to other people. In the precious name of Christ we pray. Amen.